Hey skiers, I'm Jeff from skiessentials.com.
And I'm Bob. Happy Friday.
Welcome back to our Top 5 Friday ski industry news videos. We missed last week. Bob and I were both on short vacations, separately, not together.
I feel like we always take our time off at the same time, and then people just assume that we go on vacation together.
Yeah, no, we don't spend all of our time together. We missed last week. I suppose now is a good time to also acknowledge that we still haven't really put out much content lately. We did have that rebranding announcement video last week. But yeah, it's a tough time of year for us for putting out content. We're really pretty heavily focused on our ski test right now. And that's right around the corner, easily less than a month away from ski test publication. So still got a lot of work to do, but
yeah,
it's coming together.
There's a glimmer at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. This weekend is our 4th annual warehouse sale here in this building. It's really the only time that we open up this building to the public. I know that news or information doesn't really apply to you if you're not within reasonable driving distance or flying if you own a plane.
Have you got a plane? Sure.
Yeah.
People have planes.
People have planes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a friend who has a plane.
Yeah.
He has like a 10th share in a Cessna or something.
Yeah.
But he can fly it here.
Yeah.
So if you are in the area, I would encourage you to come. It's pretty fun. Tomorrow we're open from 9 to 5, and then Sunday we'll be here from 9 to 3:30. And every year there's some great deals. It's also fun because every year there's something different.
Something pops up the ladder of either what we have the most of or what we're looking to get rid of the most.
Yeah. I mean, right when we're done with this, I'm going down there and taking a pair of those sandals. Those North Face
the slides or the flip-flops?
The flip-flops,
Okay,
I think.
yeah.
I'm not really a slides person.
I'm a neither. I'm a closed-toe shoe person.
You're just not a sandal person? You're not like a Teva?
Nope.
Or Teva?
Nope.
Is it?
It's Teva, I think.
So anyways, yeah, hope to see you here if you're within the area. And then I know I mentioned it really briefly, but we're really excited about rebranding our stores. If you're in the Stowe area, definitely go check out the new Ski Essentials Stowe store. It's not going to look tremendously different on the inside, but it looks different on the outside.
Yep.
And then down in Killington, really excited about that too. I think here in Stowe, at least for locals, it's been easier for people to draw a connection between what was Pinnacle and Ski Essentials, and I think that's been harder to do down in Killington when it was Basin.
Right.
So yeah, I'm excited that both those shops are now branded Ski Essentials. That's all I got before we get into the news. You got anything else? Any other housekeeping items?
I do not.
Excellent. First topic of the week, we're going to revisit that story about the Telluride Ski Patrol strike, and it's pretty confusing, and I wrote down a lot of stuff.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
I mean, it did seem like it was pretty thick.
It was pretty in-depth.
Lots of players in the mix.
Totally. Yeah, and I don't claim to be an expert on this topic. I'm going to do my best here. But as a reminder, or as a refresher, last December, the Telluride Ski Patrol Union went on strike. The owner dug his heels in, resulting in the resort being closed through the busy holiday stretch. And ultimately, the town really suffered the economic consequences.
Crushes the town.
Totally. Shortly after the news broke of both mayors of the two towns in which the mountain village are located had resigned and were under investigation for leveraging their positions to buy a majority stake in the resort. Still with me?
Got it.
All right, this week we got the news that those investigations had concluded and that no other government employees were involved in the purchase scheme, so their resignation of the two mayors is essentially kind of all that needs to happen.
Right.
So, pretty black and white there.
Yep.
Now it starts to get kind of weird. Apparently there is reason to believe that the owner, Chuck Horning, may have been involved in an intricate plot to force those resignations. And for this, we have to go back to 2025 when a quote-unquote brawl broke out between Chuck and his son, Chad, causing Chad to be fired from his role as CEO. Chad then suggested to the mayors that it might be possible for a group of investors to buy the resort from his dad, Then it gets even messier and more confusing, but essentially Chuck Horning set up meetings with these mayors and secretly recorded conversations where the two mayors agreed to questionable concessions, then leaked these conversations, and that ultimately led to their resignation.
Have you watched Yellowstone?
No, but I want to.
So Katie and I just got into it this week.
Yeah, I know Josh is a big fan.
And like just finishing season 1, and this is like
The same thing.
verbatim. Yeah, it's hilarious.
It just seems really like weird to me.
Yeah.
Like not being in like an ownership position of a major ski resort, and I'm not a mayor of a town, nor does my father own a major ski resort. This just seems so weird and foreign to me.
Yeah, I mean like
It makes
subversiveness and scheming and stuff like that. Like really, I mean, for the ski industry high level, maybe not like for the earth, but
yeah.
there's a lot going on for a small ski town.
Yeah, it just makes my life seem like kind of simple
Yeah.
and kind of boring.
Super boring.
But
That's how
also-
I feel all the time.
But also like extremely wholesome.
yeah. I'm glad I haven't
there's
been
no-
involved in this, embroiled in these schemes.
I have no scandals.
Yeah. It's good. Hopefully these people can sort it out. It doesn't seem like it.
It's wild, isn't it? So yeah, I don't know how much more we're going to hear about this, but it's certainly an interesting story. It feels like something that could be like a Netflix documentary.
Yeah. Yellowstone 2.0.
Yeah. Also, do you think they really go after like alliteration in their family? Chuck and
Chuck
Chad?
and Chad, probably.
Got to be some. Are both of those nicknames for Charles?
Charles is, yeah, I don't know what Chad is. Chadwick?
Chadwick?
I don't know.
Do you think Chad could be a nickname for Charles?
Yeah, because like Chaz is a nickname
Sure.
for Charles.
Yeah.
So it could go that route.
Yeah. Anyways, so that one's pretty interesting. I bet we'll hear more about that at some point. Second topic of the week, North Carolina has updated their Winter Sports Safety Act. A couple interesting things in here. Misuse of or not having a pass is now a Class 1 misdemeanor. And, misuse of is an interesting phrase, and it actually applies to a number of different things, including skiing a closed trail. So if you're caught skiing a closed trail, you can now legally be fined the cost of a season pass.
It's harsh.
Yeah. It's pretty interesting,
Yeah.
isn't it? I also didn't write this down, but like, say I have a pass and you don't, and you want to go skiing in North Carolina and I loan you my pass, we both fall under misuse and both can be fined.
Yeah. It's harsh again.
I mean, that one kind of makes sense. That's like just theft of services.
Right. Yeah.
There's also now an official law against leaving the scene of a collision, with the exception being leaving the scene for medical reasons. So like if you're going to die,
Right.
you don't have to stay and exchange.
Like I'm getting to the
information.
hospital now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, Bob, really the big part of topic number 2 here is, do you know your state's skiing laws?
0.
Well, Bob, you should visit skilaw.com.
All right. I actually will, because I'm
know.
I'm pretty interested in this.
And I was unaware of skilaw.com, and no, this is not an advertisement. We have no affiliation with skilaw.com. But yeah, it is a resource where you can go on and learn about the laws, the skiing laws in your state.
I mean, it makes sense that like there's some legal recourse for lots of these issues.
Yeah.
It kind of depends on how far the resort wants to take it. Like,
Yeah, I would imagine like this makes it easier, so like the resort wouldn't have to like press charges, like this.
well, they would, wouldn't they? Like if you,
I'm not sure if it would just be like a state fine.
yeah,
I'm really not sure. But you could go to skilaw.com and
find
probably
that out. Yeah.
get all these questions.
yep,
So I don't know, kind of interesting there. And then just a couple quick topics here to round things out. Drone Amplified Montis is a new drone that the FAA has just approved for avalanche mitigation. It's equipped with a laser rangefinder, an infrared camera, and explosive payloads for avalanche mitigation. And I already brought this up to you, but it really reminds me of the Imperial drones on the planet Hoth.
Yeah. I mean, like,
I think they're the same.
they might be. I mean, a lot of cool inventions have come from sci-fi and
Totally.
stuff like that.
I haven't gone to the website and checked them out, but I really hope they modeled them after
Yeah.
those, like...
There's like the black thing with the legs.
The black thing with the legs
Yeah.
that looked creepy and made all the weird noises.
Yeah.
And
And
then
it shot stuff.
it shot stuff, and then it self-destructed, right?
No, I thought it was a Luke or Han that hit it with the blaster.
Yeah, but I thought they, just barely hit it.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
And then they were like, that has a self-destruct feature.
Right, because they don't want to be tracked the other way.
Yeah. So, massive conspiracy theory here, but perhaps there's more to these drones than just avalanche mitigation.
I would be interested.
They may be seeking out
Yeah.
unregistered Jedi.
Yeah, that
And I
or
guess there weren't
just the
supposed to be any
resistance.
Jedi at that
Yeah.
point. Yeah. So, anyways, speculations aside, we'll move on. Last topic of the week here, there is a massive storm heading to South America. They've had a slow start down there, but several areas in Chile and Argentina are expecting huge snow totals. Yesterday, Ski Portillo reported 2-inch per hour snowfall, and there's potential of over 150 inches of snow when the storm is all said and done, which is an absolutely ridiculous amount of snow and quite dangerous.
It seems like those places have similar climates to like Mammoth.
Yes.
Where it's feast or famine.
It's
It's
totally.
sunny for a month and
Yeah.
then it snows 100 inches.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I've talked about it before here, but when I lived in Mammoth, we got 90 inches in 3 days.
Yeah.
150 is almost double that.
Right. It's too much.
That's a crazy
Yeah.
amount of snow. That's twice as tall as me.
Yeah, it's a
More
lot.
than twice as tall as me. That amount of snow is genuinely dangerous for a lot of different reasons, not just from a skiing perspective. And because of that, Ski Portillo has announced that they are closed indefinitely. I'm sure they'll reopen,
crazy.
but
Yeah.
it takes a lot of time to dig out
Right.
from a storm like that. So it's always fascinating when a ski area has to close because of too much snow.
Yep.
Lastly, here we've got our edits of the week. First up is a point of view summer skiing edit from Jesper Tjader. Then we've got another summer skiing edit. This time it's a recap of the level 1 week at Woodward Copper. And then have you heard about this, Bob? The Ultimate Mountain Athlete.
Nope.
It's put on by Outside, and it's basically a competition that's split into episodes to determine the Ultimate Mountain Athlete. I haven't watched any of it, but Thorne Merrill's in it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
A great athlete.
I know. As soon as I saw that, I was like, yep,
Yep.
probably could win. I don't, so no, this is not a spoiler, because I literally don't know how he did, but pretty cool. And he's someone that both Bob and I know quite well. And then finally here we've got, oh wait, I didn't even talk about what the actual edit was. The Ultimate Mountain Athlete, this episode is pure survival on Silverton's cruelest ski descent.
Cool.
And when I first heard about this, I was like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
And then I kind of learned a little bit more about the things that they had to do, and I was like,
No thanks.
I don't want to do that. And then finally here we've got Melt from Rosina Friedel and Mons Royal. That's
Sweet.
it. That's it for this week's news. Like I've said several times now, hope to see you at the warehouse sale, and we should probably stop filming this so we can go help our coworkers get ready.
Can't wait.
All right, so if we don't see you this weekend, we'll talk to you next week, and hope you have a fantastic weekend.
Bye.